The Black Knight satellite, remnant of ancient Anunnaki technology? What if the mysterious object belonged to the ancient Anunnaki and acts as a spy satellite? Is it possible that the enigmatic Black Knight satellite is one of the many pieces of ancient alien tech found on planet Earth? The enigmatic object which circles our planet in polar orbit has gripped the interest of millions of people for over 60 years. Alien satellite or space debris? What is the truth behind the enigmatic Black Knight satellite? As always, you decide. The truth behind the Black Knight satellite is as mysterious as it gets according to many. Many believe the anomalous object, said to be locked in polar orbit around our planet is, in fact, an extraterrestrial satellite, sent to Earth to monitor mankind, and that the alien civilization behind it are the ancient Anunnaki. While many believe that the object which is orbiting Earth in a polar orbit is nothing more than space debris, others firmly believe the Black Knight satellite is an alien probe that has been orbiting Earth for at least 13,000 years. Over 50 years ago, it was thought to be a Russia spy satellite, and ever since its discovery, the mysterious object has gripped the interest of millions worldwide. Interestingly, the story about the Black Knight satellite can be traced back to the 1940s, when the St. Louis Dispatch and the San Francisco Examiner wrote about the satellite on May 14, 1954. Street. Louis Dispatch and the San Francisco Examiner article about the unidentified satellite. However, the Time magazine also wrote about it in an article on the 7th of March, 1960. Here is what they said about it. 3 weeks ago, headlines announced that the US had detected a mysterious dark satellite wheeling overhead on a regular orbit. There was nervous speculation that it might be a surveillance satellite launched by the Russians, and it brought the uneasy sensation that the US did not know what was going on over its own head. But last week the Department of Defense proudly announced that the satellite had been identified. It was a space derelict, the remains of an Air Force Discovery satellite that had gone astray. Read the complete story by visiting the Time magazine website. So what is this mysterious object? It is just another piece of space debris, thermal blanket as many suggest. Then why have numerous governments and agencies shown so much interest in the enigmatic satellite? The mysterious object gripped worldwide interest in the 50s. On August 23, 1954, the technology magazine Aviation Week and Space Technology released a story that angered the Pentagon, who were trying to keep the information secret. This short article stated, Pentagon's scare over the observance of two previously unobserved satellites orbiting the Earth has dissipated with the identification of the objects as natural, not artificial satellites. Lincoln Lapaz, expert on extraterrestrial bodies from the University of New Mexico, headed the identification project. One satellite is orbiting about 400 miles out, while the other track is 600 miles from the Earth. Pentagon thought momentarily the Russians had beaten the US. In the 1960s, the Black Knight was located once again in polar orbit. Astronomers and scientists calculated the object's weight to be over 10 tons, which would be at that time the heaviest artificial satellite to orbit our planet. The Black Knight's orbit was unlike any other object orbiting Earth, as it was moving twice as fast when compared to any other man-made spacecraft. We find it fascinating that the Grumman Aircraft Corporation showed interest in the alleged alien satellite as well. In fact, On September 3, 1960, 7 months after the satellite was first detected by radar, a tracking camera at Grumman Aircraft Corporation's Long Island factory took a photograph of the Black Knight. At that point, people all over the world started identifying the object in the sky, which could be seen as a red light moving at higher speed compared to other satellites in an east-to-west orbit. But who or what could have been behind the mysterious satellite, and what is it even doing in polar orbit around Earth? Is it a real satellite, or is it in fact just a thermal blanket as many argue? But if it is just a thermal blanket as many suggest, then what about the enigmatic signals the alleged satellite has been sending out? Rumors are that it was Nikola Tesla, the first man to intercept a signal from the Black Knight satellite in 1899 after building a high-voltage radio device in Colorado Springs. However, since the 1930s, astronomers worldwide have been reporting strange radio signals which allegedly come from the Black Knight. And what if the Black Knight satellite is in fact a spy satellite left behind by the ancient Anunnaki who visited Earth in the distant past, coming from Nibiru, creating a slave race on Earth in order to extract precious minerals from our planet, which eventually allowed them to save the atmosphere from their home planet Nibiru? What if the Black Knight satellite is just one of the many pieces of ancient technology that have been left behind by the ancient Anunnaki when they arrived at Earth in the distant past? What if the Black Knight satellite was left on purpose in a polar orbit around Earth, allowing its creators to keep an eye on our planet and its development? In fact, polar orbits are often used for Earth mapping, Earth observation, capturing the Earth as time passes from one point, and reconnaissance satellites. This would put the Black Knight in the category of an observational satellite. Observational alien satellite may sound far-fetched for many, and we agree, the claims are sensational. However, there are a number of strange things associated with the mysterious object and its origin. As always, you decide truth or fiction. Interestingly, not long ago, scientists from the University of Edinburgh said there are possibilities that self-replicating robotic alien spacecraft are venturing into our solar system. In their work, Duncan Forgan and Alwyn Nicholson affirmed the possibility that highly advanced alien races are taking advantage of the gravitational field of the stars to speed up their spacecraft traveling through space. The scientists said, "We can conclude that a fleet of self-replicating probes can indeed explore the galaxy in a sufficiently short time and orders of magnitude less than the age of the Earth.